Okay, we are working on getting segment 5, this one right down here, getting that to come on and off when it should based on the numbers that need to be displayed for a 7-segment display. And at the moment, in spite of appearances, we don't have anything. All we've got is a bunch of bitmaps on the screen. So we need to hook up this one right here so that it's an output of a circuit that implements the segment 5 logic that we looked at in class. And again, I'm trying to multitask and do several things at once. But I need 4 light switches for this. And if I recall in class, I was calling those 8's place and 4's place and all that the text. Text, 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 text. And properties, select, right click. And so that it's clearer, I'll actually call it that. 8's place, apostrophe S place. That's a bigger label than most switches, but still, I hope it's more self-explanatory. And they do correspond to the place values on a binary place value chart. You'll see when we get the whole thing done. Wait, I'll show you. This is 4's place. Two's place. And 1's place. There we have it. And it's almost like, well, it's not almost like, it actually is. And in translation, this switch on 1 means that there's a 1 in 8's place on the place value chart. This place, this switch right here, if it's a 1, it means we would have a 1 in 2's place on the place value chart. So this is like a place value chart turned sideways right here. And we are not going to do all the tangled mess. I need to move this around. This is bothering me. Okay, we're not going to cram all the circuitry, not even for segment 5 all by itself on the front page. I'm going to immediately start using multiple pages here and get with the senders and receivers, starting with senders. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll use much simpler names here on the properties. This one will just be 8P for 8's place. It's easier to remember, easier to type. Properties, this is 4P for 4's place. This one will be 2P for 2's place. Last but not least, right click. This will be 1's place. And then I'm going to have to, I know I am. Zoom in. I don't know why it keeps doing that. And I wish it would stop doing that. Now I need to connect these with wires, or they're no good for anybody or any purpose. Don't you give me that no smoking sign. I have to concentrate. That's why I'm being quiet as a mouse. Okay. Done and done. 8's place, 4's place, 2's place, 1's place. And my output over here, that's going to need a receiver fed into it. And I can't think of a better name for our segment 5 receiver than seg5. Can you? Seg5. And oh no, there's no place to connect it to. As I start to work on these one at a time, I'll leave all the others here just plain, always on the screen. But as I work on them, I will change the properties to multiple inputs so I can connect them. Properties, multiple, okay. And I'm sure you'll recall, I don't have to tell you again, but I will anyway, you always only connect for the projects for this course only to the 0 input, because we are only going to have wires that have 0 or 1 flowing across them, and that's it. So there we go. It doesn't look pretty, but we're all ready to go for segment 5 here. Let me back out. And there we are. And I'm violating my own recommendations again. I need to save often. And I will jiggle all the gates before I'm done, because I certainly don't want to lose what I've done so far. Now, off to page 1. What are we doing here? Well, we're on page, I said to page 1, to page 2. We're off to page 2, and I want to, what? I want to, first of all, get my Lego blocks to work with. And I'm going to start with the text to keep myself informed of what I'm doing here, since I've been so ridiculously forgetful lately. It's actually scary to me, but that's a personal problem. I won't burden you with it. This is logic for segment 5, or so we hope. And first order of business is to receive the input from page 1. I don't know what this ghost box is doing there. So I need 4 receivers. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and do the sender, which will send back to the front page. And I can get those done before I even think about wires. This one, properties, needs to be 8's place, AP, so it can receive. And we will have receivers like this on every page for every segment. So one sender can go to a lot of different receivers. This is 4's place. We'll need an 8P, 4P, and so on for every different segment we do. This one is 2's place, and this one is 1's place. Okay, I'm going to straighten these up a little bit. And I think, yes, my receiver back on the front page is seg 5. So I need a sender from all the digital logic I'm about to drop here. I need this to go to seg 5. Okay, now some of this is mechanical, and this is the part we can do without looking. Well, I got to look at the SOP a little bit to see how many AND gates I need. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I don't need that yet. I need NOT gates. Silly me. I need to save, and then I need NOT gates. And you can just automatically put a NOT gate for every input, whether you need it or not. You can automatically put a node for every gate, whether you need it or not, every receiver. And I'm going to zoom in and connect all this up. Oh, come on. Those are my magic words. Yes, it is a little bit tedious, isn't it? And I know which side my bread's buttered on. I'm going to save this immediately. Save before I do anything else. Now, you can try this. You can, if you want to, go to select, and you're going to need this much. This much is the same for all 7 segments. So if you want, and you're able to do it, you can select all of this and do a copy, right-click, copy, and go to the pages for the other segments that you haven't even thought about yet. Go click the purple plus, and then do a paste. That's where I ran into problems before with wires getting all messed up and everything. So I'm not even going to try that with this demo. But notice that you can do that. All I did was copy the switches that I already set up here and all their NOT gates, because I know I'm going to need them for segment 6, segment 7, segment 1, and all that as well. But for now, I'm going to just get rid of that. We don't need any of that for segment 5, so I'm going to scissor that away. Now I need to know how many AND gates, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 2-input AND gates. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they are all 2-input AND gates. And without even looking at my SOP yet, I know that I've got to collect all those into an OR gate. And in this case, I can use just a single 4-input OR gate for 4 AND gates. I'm not going to do that just to demonstrate something different. I'm going to only say 3 inputs. Okay, but that's not enough. That's not enough. I'm also going to demonstrate cascading gates here. I'm going to put an additional OR gate here, and when I connect it, I knew I wouldn't be able to do that. When I connect it, if I can connect it, now I have the equivalent of a 4-input OR gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can connect those with wires. That's what you do if you need an OR gate or an AND gate that needs more inputs than the properties options will allow you to set. then you can cascade them as many as you need. So in this case, I didn't really have to have 2, but I used them anyway. And whatever the output of that is, I'm going to send back as my segment 5, like so. I can procrastinate no more. I'm going to have to look at my SOP, and I need to start off with, according to the SOP I see written down here, 8p and 2p. Yes, I'm going to have to zoom that in. 8p and 2p, both of them plain. The second AND gate, looking ahead, 8p and 4p. Plain 8p, plain 8p, plain 4p. Ideally, you'll have a lot better luck or skill connecting wires than I do. What next? 2p and not 1p. 2p and not 1p. Finally, not 4p, not 1p, not 4p, not 1p. Okay, I'm going to move these around, first of all, so the wires are easier to see. That's easy enough. And then I'm going to remember to do the jiggle dance so that when I save it, ideally all the wires come back. It's ridiculous that we have to do that. But sometimes things that we have to do are ridiculous. We've got to do them anyway. Now, you'll notice I did that really quickly, and there might even be a mistake. I might have hooked up some of those wrong and you're already screaming at your screen. I'll say I'm doing that on purpose. So if I got it wrong, I did it on purpose so that we'll have to go back to the drawing board and debug it. But first of all, I'm shaking everything around, and then I'm saving it. And I've already got something I can test here. I can run this, and it doesn't look like it's doing anything. I forgot. I heard you. You were yelling at your screen. I've got to right-click on this and set the properties so that it is the 0 vertical image, not the 1. 0. Okay, let's try that again. There we are. Now, here are all the input combinations. You can check this in your own time. Here's 1, 3, 2, 6, 7, 5, 4, C, D, F, E. What is that? I might have misspoken. C. I've already been here before. D. It's not going on and off. It is going on and off, but I don't know which combinations I checked and which ones I haven't. Let me be more deliberate about this. There's 1. Should it be off? I'll let you check against the notes from class. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, also known as B, 12, also known as C, D, E, F. That's all of them. They were all wonky and in wild and crazy order, but I think that is all of them. And I don't know, but I think that was correct. I'll have to watch the video myself and double check against the assignment sheet. While I'm here, that is segment 5, by the way. We have done segment 5, done and done. I'm going to put my documentation up here. 3 text boxes, and I forgot what it's supposed to be exactly, but I think it's the file name, your name, and then a brief description. So I'm going to go with that. Properties. The file name here is file project JECT 1.jpg. LGI. That's easy for you to type, not for me. And properties. I'm R England TransEU. That's my affiliation. And properties. This is Project 1. 7-segment display. Now, your documentation doesn't have to be exactly like that, but some of it is required. I think you're supposed to have the file name and your name. And I want this to be a little larger, so just cosmetic detail here. Set font, and I'll make it bigger. Make it 14. Oh, that's a little bigger. That ought to do. So what I have right now, I have a working segment 5, if it all tests out correctly, and I'll have to double check that by watching the video. Here's the segment 5 logic from class, and you'll notice you don't have to hook up to all of these. There are some things you do have to hook up. You do have to have a receiver for every sender and a sender for every receiver, but you don't have to have wires connected to every node or to every NOT gate. So that's why you can start off all of them the same way. My next step is going to be to finish this behind the scenes, literally behind the scenes in more than one way. I'm not going to do that in a demo, but I am going to go to page 3 and 4 and 5 and do all the other segments and then show you what a finished working project looks like. So I will come back and revisit this when it's more than just segment 5 that's going on and off. And that's all I can think about to say for right now. So I'll see you later. As soon as I turn this off. Bye.